Hi guys, so I am here with Pickle. This is going to be our mapping video. This one will be short, but it is only going to contain mapping. I don't want you guys to have to go through a long video if you need to go back and fix mapping or it takes you longer. For our mapping today, I am going to use chalk. And actually, this is such a cool idea. My good friend Desiree at a Small World Nursery, she told me to do this, and I don't know why I've never thought of it. It is super awesome. You can just sharpen your chalk with a regular pencil sharpener, and it makes it so much easier to write with this. I actually have a chalkboard wall that we have our grocery list on, and I'm doing this for for all the chalk that's on there. It's obviously much easier to write on than this blunt end. But I'm kind of assuming, I know I've said this before, this is going to be more of an advanced rooting tutorial. So I'm assuming everybody knows what they map with, how to map, all that kind of stuff. But I am going to try to explain basics just in case there are people where this is their first time mapping. So if you know this information, I apologize for repeating it, but I want to make sure everyone can get something out of this. So mapping with chalk is great. I map with it on videos because you guys can see it, so it is fantastic. However, if you just map with chalk, you have to map multiple times. It's going to rub off all the time. Your best bet would be to get a Prisma pencil. Just make sure that it is a couple shades lighter than the hair that you are rooting. Make sure that you do your line very, very light. You don't want some crazy dark rooting map showing through your hair. It does not look good. But I would do that with Prisma pencil, and then if you need it darker for your own purposes, you can do chalk over it. And that way, if your chalk line rubs off, you can easily know where to put it back. So we are going to start with the back of the head here. You guys can probably tell my body is here. So the head is facing away from me. I am doing my swirl on this side. So I am going to do my basic 6 here and my basic 9. That is going to give me a nice little swirl here. In this area where the head starts to go up, I am just going to go up a little bit. When we are rooting our hair, this hair will go forward, this hair will start coming down. It'll be a nice little line. Next, I am going to go off of this line again and just come down. And for my hairline, I will be starting to root about here. I don't personally really map it out because I know where I'm starting to root. On this side, I will start rooting about here. So you always, no matter what you're doing, you want it to come off of your original swirl. That is how you directionally root and get really realistic looking lines in your rooting. So I am just going to come off of this line and just go right down. I am going to come off again and right down there. This will be number 1. This will be the first area that we root. And the same thing here. I'm just going to come down to that area. Again, we'll be starting to root around here, and it'll just go up a little bit and then back down there on the other side. So this is our basic back of the head rooting map. Sorry guys, I'm trying to darken some of these little areas up for you. This is just a super basic one. There is nothing hard about this. Okay, now for the front is going to be a little bit trickier. I am going to show you guys what I'm using for my rooting inspiration. I am using Nikki Johnston's, the version that she created of her pickle. Mine will be a little bit different. I'm using this as a loose inspiration. We will be doing these baby hairs, but on this side area, I do not want my triangle to go up that far. I want mine more like this. So this will be thicker hairs, and it just won't be as severe, but it will still have some of those baby hairs. It'll just be a little bit more filled in and a little bit more subtle, kind of like that. So let's go ahead and start on the front here. So first of all, I'm going to go off of that swirl in the back. I am going to bring it right up here. I am going to do the same exact thing on the other side. I'm going to go off of my swirl, whoops, and bring it right back here. And you can move your head around however you want when you're rooting. For this rooting map, I'm not mapping out these baby hairs right now. The baby hairs we will be doing at the very end. I'm using alpaca, and when you are rooting a lot, you have your heat lamp going the whole time. Alpaca is so fine, it can get a little bit singed, a little bit frizzy. So those I want to do at the very end. So for right now, I am pretty much mapping out our like basic regular full hair rooting pattern. So I'm coming up off of this line that I already did, and I'm just gonna swoop it around a little bit. We'll come off of this line again and swoop just a little bit. These will be baby hairs, and I'm just gonna draw a little triangle right between these two lines. In this triangle will be our baby hairs. And I'm just gonna go ahead and do the same thing on this side. We are gonna break this up into another one here. Again, this will be our triangle for our baby hairs, and we'll close it up a little bit. I don't want mine to go all the way back. A good way to tell where you want yours to start, where you're gonna have those lighter baby hairs, you can take a little lock of hair and see how long you are going to have the hair after you cut it. Is very, very important. And you can see my hair will probably be about this long. When I put my finger on it to cut it, they'll just be a little bit out, which is how I want it. I do allow for the end to be rooted in. I put it right here on the end of my triangle, and that means my baby hairs are going to start showing around here. Even though we're rooting the baby hairs farther back, these are the ones that will be visible, and that's what I want. A little bit more subtle than this. On our front hairline here, I am going to do a little side swoop here with baby hairs. And I will say that will start about here. So this area here will be our side swoop, and you can see that would be a hairline that was way too far back. That would not look good, but we are going to be doing baby hairs in this area, so that would be a good hairline there. And then I would start, you could just make a little note or a line right here, kind of at the bottom of the tragus of the ear. and that is about where we will be rooting our little hairs down here. You can just go ahead and do basically a little triangle if you want around the temples, which is where we'll be doing our baby hairs in there. I don't map out my little side swoop. It will be a little bit different directionally. We'll have some hairs here. We'll have a transition here. And then we will start swooping them around here and then going back up and then back down. So that is kind of something that we will finalize at the very end. With this style, you know, all of this empty space is going to be like normal, longer, thick hair. We'll have this little bit of baby hair peeking through here, and I think it's gonna look really super great. I'm like really excited about doing it. I was just gonna do a very basic rooting style, and then I kind of took a little poll from you guys about where everybody is at. I have far more people that have been rooting for quite a while, and they want to learn like more advanced rooting styles. So I did go ahead and do this. I will at some point do a very, very basic rooting tutorial for those that don't know how to root at all. But I have a feeling that you know, you guys, the back will be super basic. You can get that. If the hairline is too much for you, if you don't want it, you can root the hairline normally. You don't have to do the same style. I just really love it and I want to do it. How I am going to do our rooting videos are I am going to break these up into little sections. So like this would be section 1. I'll root with you guys for as long as my back can stand sitting up and rooting at my desk, and say, okay, today we are finishing 1, which would be this top down in here, and show you guys exactly what we'll work one section at a time, finishing from pretty much here down, and then we will move on to the sides, and then we will do the front last. All right, guys, I am super, super excited about this. I hope that this really helps you guys and that you get a lot out of it. I am going to get this head warmed up, and I am going to start our first rooting video in a few minutes.